everybody. Welcome to Victory Talk. It's Friday, y'all. TGIF to everybody. Yeah. It is Friday. It's your girl Key and
Lady J and Lisa.
And we are in the house tonight. Y'all see we matching tonight. We got on our matching shirts. Cause we're sisters. Me and you are step apart. Wait, we gotta do some Yes. We are together once again to bring y'all some hot topics. Y'all know first Fridays of the month is hot topics.
Yeah.
So I hope you are ready for some hot sauciness. Tonight, though, before we get started, we want to talk about Thanksgiving a little bit with each other. So I want to know, how was you guys' Thanksgiving? Was this year any different than last year due to the pandemic?
Well, actually, for me, it was better. It was better. So, like last year, what we did was everybody in the family, our little close circle family, the children that are right here in the Maryland area, we all cooked. And we cooked, individual things, and they met at the house, and, we gave each family, a portion of what we cooked. And so we kind of shared in the cooking, but then we, divvied up, our dinner, and we went back to our respective homes. And that's how we had Thanksgiving. Then we met on Zoom and played some games and things like that. So this year we actually got to, hang out with each other. So we did brunch at one family, breakfast with one group of the family. And then we did dinner with another group. So for us, it was actually better than it was last year. And so I was really excited about that. So even though we're still in the midst of a pandemic, we still kind of like kept the groups small. We kept them small, but it was good. It was good. And praise God, nobody was sick. Nobody got sick. Thank you, Jesus.
Yes,
hallelujah.
Yes.
Well, I would say that it was better because last year we couldn't get together, but this year we were able to get together a little bit.
Yeah.
So just the appreciation of being able to be together, to be in fellowship, versus last year we couldn't. So we were just happy that we were able to just get together a little bit. I got a chance to see my little cousin who was actually born during the pandemic.
Ooh.
And she was such a sweet thing. And in spite of being isolated, she was still her sociable self. So the DNA is still good. And she was like waving like hey to everybody. So I was like so super ecstatic. So I'm hoping that as the pandemic move out and the immunity for this virus gets better, that we can cluster together a lot bigger than we did.
I agree with y'all. I think I'm on the same page with you guys. We still kept it small, but I was so super excited to see my cousin was able to come because he's usually with us on the holidays. And so last year he couldn't come, because of the pandemic. And so I don't really remember what we did. I think my parents might have still came last year, but nobody else. So this year we had my cousin, we had my niece came, my brother and his girlfriend. So it was back to business as usual. And I was so excited to just be able to see everybody, hug everybody, and, be able to be in close quarters without freaking out so much. So.
Yeah.
So that was good. So so we looking forward to Christmas. We hope that things are still calm and we can all get together again for Christmas.
So before we move on to our our viewers, tell us, put in the chat how was you. We want to hear how Thanksgiving was for you guys as well. So put it in the chat and share with us.
Yes, absolutely. Let me see. Let me give it a minute, or you can go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, so we're gonna go ahead and keep rolling, but y'all go ahead and let us know how your Thanksgiving was, and we'll come back to it after our first topic. So let's get into it. Our first topic is titled "Killer Off Our Campus." Students demand that Arizona State University withdraw Kyle Rittenhouse. So I'm sure everybody knows at this point, who that young man is, without going into too much detail about that. But several student groups were demanding that Arizona State University kick him out of their school for what they're calling him being a racist murderer. This comes after he is acquitted of all charges following a very public and publicized trial in which he and his defense successfully argued that he acted in self-defense when he shot and killed 2 protesters in Kenosha, Wisconsin. It is being said that even with a not guilty verdict from a flawed justice system, that he is still guilty to his victims and to the family of those victims. So what we want to know is, what are your thoughts on this case? And do you think that them demanding that he be kicked out of school is a reasonable or justifiable demand? Don't be scared.
I'm going to, don't be mad at me, but I'm going to say no. I think he should be entitled to go to school. He was exonerated. By people of his peers. So you really can't do that when we have a world full of it. We're not kicking everyone out. We have government officials, people that are sitting at the top of the hill of Fortune 500 companies that have this, type of mentality and actually said some things. So because, of the not guilty verdict, I say, hey, if he wants to go to school, let him go to school. I wouldn't go to school with him, but I'm
I say I have to agree with Lisa. And I kind of like, I know the whole, if you on the fence, the devil owes the fence, yada, yada, yada. But I am kind of on the fence with it, about it. However, I do agree that he should be able to go to school. I mean, it is what it is. And we as a people, we as a country, we elected these people to be in these positions. Mm-hmm. And so, we allowed them to make these decisions for us. And obviously, they did not make the decisions that we would have liked for them to have made. However, it's still his constitutional rights. He can let him go to school. Am I happy about it? Do I feel as though that, that he was, the case was justifiably ruled in his favor and all that jazz? No, I don't. I feel like it was wrong. I feel like had he have been of another nationality or another color, I think the outcome would have been different. That's just my opinion. However, let him go to school. He go to school. I am concerned for his physical welfare, along with his mental welfare, because he's going to endure some things. He's going to go through some things. Are the people going to be right to lash out? Again, I'm on the fence. I'm really on the fence. However, doing bodily harm, and if anybody, from Arizona State University, if you listening, y'all keep your hands to yourself.
Yes.
Protest peacefully. Protest peacefully. Yes. But you can't be going and laying hands on nobody. So that's just my thought. That's I don't know. What you think?
I agree with the two of you, and I ain't worried about nobody being mad. But y'all know, look, we speak our mind and we keep it real, and this is an open platform. So if y'all out there that are watching, y'all feel differently, please feel free, to chime in. But I think my reasoning about it might be slightly different. I think that I'm trying to be in the mindset of, to answer the first question, my thoughts about the case, obviously it was wrong. I feel like I'm not going to sit there and say how much time he should have gotten, but I really believe that he should not have just been able to walk away scot-free. Like, at the end of the day, bottom line is you took lives. And, you took it upon yourself to pretend to be law enforcement or whatever it is that you called yourself doing, and you took lives, and there are lives that we just can't get back. And so but on the school note, I feel like just like how when our people or whatever color, race, and nationality people are incarcerated, we expect for them to be able to come home,
And
be
return to
rehabilitated,
society. Yes.
and have a second chance at, so it's almost like he just bypassed, the process of serving the time, but he still deserves an opportunity to get an education. And Miss Victoria made an excellent comment as well. She said, when you actually serve jail time, you are allowed to attend school. Let him get his education, and maybe he will learn to make better decisions in the future.
I hear you, Miss Victoria.
We hopeful.
However, we are in the advent season. We are hopeful.
Yes.
However, I feel like this.
Purpose.
I know. But I feel like this. His mama and his daddy should have taught him better before he even got to this age. I feel like, it starts in the house. It starts around the dining room table. It starts when you put them to bed. And he was doing what he knows.
I was going to say, I believe in this case.
You know what I'm saying? He was doing what he knows. I mean, we're not going to talk about that other case. However, that was a father, a son, and a neighbor.
Mm-hmm.
And the son learned it from the father. And I'm sure the father got it from his parents. You know what I'm saying? So I just really feel as though it starts in the house. And you know what? You know better, so do better.
Another comment.
Know better, so do better. Get that comment. Go on, get that.
Hey, Sister Harriet. Hey, Miss Victoria. I forgot. Clinton, Brother Clinton. Hello. Hey, Renee.
Spence, we saw you too.
Hey, Spence and Panetta. What's up, y'all? So we're talking about Kyle Rittenhouse, and Sister Harriet said, well, not well. He is a very young man. His actions, unrepentant, will lead him to a place of horror, disdain, destruction, and much remorse.
All right, Harriet. Y'all know Harriet. She
don't
going
play no
straight for the dope.
Listen.
She going straight.
She said, beat them all.
Beat them all. Miss Victoria said maybe they didn't know any better. I agree. Yeah, to a degree he didn't know any better, but he should know better. He was what? How old? 20? Was he 26? Wait a minute. How old is he?
He's younger.
We gonna have to look up his age. We gonna have to look up his age.
But you know what?
At any rate, how old?
17.
He was 7. Oh, he's 17. Listen.
He was trained for this.
He was trained.
I was going to say that I believe the mom. I believe the mom actually. She knew he was in like the ROTC, and then something else. He was volunteer police cadet situation, and so she was probably encouraging him. To like, dude, wait until you. I'm not saying wait until you graduate the academy and all but wait until you are certified, and authorized to police the community before you take it upon yourself to police the community.
And even once you're, certified, authorized, and all that good jazz, you know what? There has to be a level of decorum. You have got to be able to operate in that type of field, with a level of respect, understanding. You understand? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And just be able overall to interact with people on a reasonably decent level.
Absolutely.
Because these people are trusting in you. They're looking to you for safety and that type of thing. So I don't know. But yes, I think he needs to know better and do better. And I think his mom needs to know.
And hopefully he
shouldn't.
Yeah.
So would he be able to get into law
He should
enforcement
not.
after this?
Oh, absolutely. They'll let him in.
See, that doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
So then later on when he chasing down, somebody and doing bodily harm to him or whatever, again, because you already see he already got bodies on him.
Right.
And so then what?
The reason how I learned that actually was with another case. I can't remember which one it was, but I discovered that I feel like it might have been the George Floyd one. And they were saying that, if he would have gotten off of that, You don't necessarily get, like, if you get terminated from a police department, apparently it is there is no law against or rule against you going to another county, not even another state. You can go to another county and still work for law enforcement, knowing that you have this history. And that's what they do. They bounce around from place to place. And I'm like, that's where something's got to change with that. The whole system just needs to be revamped. Because you should not be able to commit crimes and do these things and then continue to do it to other people somewhere else.
Right.
Like,
I have no doubt in my mind we're gonna see his name again.
Yeah.
We're gonna see his name again, and it is not gonna be under the headlines of him going to school. Shouldn't he or shouldn't he go to school? It's not gonna be that. But you know what? Unfortunately, we will just continue to pray, for all, safety of all. Miss Victoria said the state mistakenly allowed their residents to carry weapons and police each other. Same as the Trayvon Martin case. Miss Victoria, unfortunately, you're right.
Yeah.
You are unfortunately right. So, all right, y'all, let's get on to this next one. Because this is this is interesting, especially since we have some, some college students. And then, I know you know some college students, and I'm sure you know some college students. And we got some college students right here in our church. So this particular one is on a 20-year-old college student dies after fraternity fight night. Friends and family are mourning Nathan Tyler Valencia, who dies on November 23rd after participating in a Kappa Sigma fraternity fight night. According to the attorneys, he had no boxing experience whatsoever. His friends and family not only want accountability, but more than anything, they want to make sure that something like this never happens again. The attorneys added that there was no medical care on site, despite the fact that the event has occurred for years. This has been going on for a long time. This wasn't something that they just started doing. This resulted in multiple recorded injuries. No medical attention, no medical personnel on site. His death comes amid rising criticism around the dangers of Greek life, including protests over sexual violence and hazing that ended in accidental deaths. So my question to everybody is this: should there be a harsher punishment for fraternities that engage in this type of dangerous behavior or events? What do you guys think?
I would say yes. Because this hazing, trying to get people to do the far extreme just to get in, just to be a part of, and it's getting dangerous.
Yeah.
Because in my time, it was drinking hazing. Then you had burning of your skin and going to someone's house and asking for a Band-Aid, and your arm is still smoking with the symbol of the fraternity. You had beating of the paddles and different things like that. Like, a lot of the people who pledged the fraternities and sororities and got in, they will never tell you what it is that they did.
Oh, yeah.
They would never tell you. So it's supposed to be this code of secret. But I'm like, is it more of a code of embarrassment that you actually lowered yourself to do that just to fit in with the crowd?
Yeah.
So I think they should. And I think their charter needs to be suspended.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Key, what's on your thoughts on that?
I was going to say, for sure, because like Lisa said, this has been going on for a long time, and this is not the first death. This is not the first, serious injury. And my heart just really goes out to, that young man's family, because we send our children off to school to get an education, and granted, we want them to enjoy the college experience. We want them to do the homecoming and the parties and if they want to pledge a sorority or fraternity or play sports or do whatever, but we want them to be able to do these things safely. And we don't want to have to worry about receiving a telephone call that our child has gotten injured, because of some hazing activity. I remember, I was about 8 or 9 years old when my mom was in college, and she would take me to, some of her little sorority activities. And I remember one night they had, I was there and I didn't really know what was going on. And so they had the ladies going into the bathroom and everybody was coming out crying. And I was like, I'm looking around and I'm like, why are they crying? And she, shh, tell me shush. And I'm like, but why are they crying? And then later on, she told me that they had put like a banana in the toilet and they had them go in there blindfolded and put their hand in the toilet and like be squeezing on a banana. And, they thought that it was something else. And so I'm like, okay, things like that, harm. Look, I mean, it's gross if you think about it, but at the end of the day, like nobody got hurt. And so, even when I see the what do you call it what you were talking about, the branding and the beating with the paddle, like that stuff to me is too much.
It's violent.
I'm like, why do I have to go through all of that to become a part of some brotherhood or sisterhood? Like, I don't like pain. Not that kind of pain.
Nah.
So
rather than your big sister is twisted in the head.
Yeah, like, I'm not gonna be able to do it.
I'm not gonna be able to do it. I just don't like it. I don't like it. I know that well, let me rewind. I think, fraternities and sororities, I think that overall they have some good foundation. They have some good history. Yes. They do wonderful things in the community. I think it's a learning experience, and to have that bond later on in life, I just think it is awesome. I see, what brothers and sisters in terms of the fraternities and the sororities, what they go through, when I say what they go through, I mean what they go through, later on in life, as they're getting together and they're, serving charities and going out and doing, community events and, supporting, this, that, the other. However, the road that they travel to get there, to get to that point is what concerns me. I don't feel as though that's such, strenuous, entry, pieces, what they do to be able to pledge. And I really don't feel as though, why do they have to go through that? All of that, I understand that, you have to do some certain things, to prove your loyalty. Mm-hmm. Or to prove, that it's worth it, because anything worth having is worth working for. I get all of that. But shouldn't there be some different ways? Because through the years, we have heard these kind of stories over and over and over again. Yeah. So shouldn't somebody stand up and say, hey, we can do this a different way? The grad chapters, those who pledge after grad school, mm-hmm. That's a horse of another color.
Oh yeah.
You know what? You're not getting beat on. You're not, to my understanding, you don't hear, let me say that, you don't hear of it. Mm-hmm. So to me, I believe it goes a different way. But so if they found how to do it differently, why can't, the undergrads do it differently? And what? Some people are losing their lives out here. Yeah. These children, and I say children because especially, the freshmen and a sophomore, they're still babies when they get to college. Yeah. In terms of, Absolutely. They are easily influenced.
They just want to be there.
They just want to be a part. So I think that there should be some punishment. Yeah. And I agree with you, Lisa. There should be some suspensions. Yeah. And and those that are up in leadership that knows what's going on.
Oh yeah, accountability.
They should be held accountable as well.
Absolutely.
If I was those parents, I would be owning that. I would be owning that daggone university.
Oh, yeah. And you think too,
my grandkids are going to school
for free.
Yeah.
Yeah, every generation.
With something like this. you would think that even at the very least, if that's something that you wanted to do, is have a fight night and have, you know, the people from the different, you know, fraternities come together and box, like with some boxing gloves in a ring with an official and with medical, you know, people on site. That's that's completely different than this fight night. Because that's what it sounds to me kind of like how the Fight Club movie was.
Yeah.
You know, you just beating on somebody until they stop, you know, until they just pass out.
But they had paramedics on the scene, right?
I don't know.
I guess at
Because
some
mostly
point.
in the professional, you have the
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
you have the
yeah.
doctors, but these people, the maturity level is not there to say we need to supply all of the things that we need to have just in case.
Right.
They just
Right.
want to go and do it.
And Michon, he's so special. Michon says all fun and games until someone goes into the wrong stall. I wish we had a banana to show y'all, but y'all know what a banana is like and how squishy it is.
Oh my God. And you would totally think that that's, I'm telling you, they was crying. I mean, they was crying. All right, y'all. So we gonna get on down to the next topic. So a server, this was hilarious to me. A server shares the most annoying things that customers do when they split the bill at restaurants. So we all know that being a server is really hard work. Despite being perpetually underpaid and underappreciated, being a waiter is no easy gig. So one server is going viral after sharing her biggest pet peeve when it comes to tables who want to split the bill. User at SNERIXX, in case you guys want to check out some of her content, because it's supposed to be really good. It's the @ SNERIXX. And she is popular on TikTok because of her ability to share her serving stories in a relatable way. In a recent video, she recalled a time when a customer asked to split the bill. Instead of opting for a 50-50 bill, the guest wanted everything split up. So as she was mimicking the guest on this video, she's saying, well, I know personally I had 3 out of those 8 mozzarella sticks and a quarter of the chips. So if you could just, you know, split it that way. So then she said, listen, 3 mozzarella sticks out of the 8 and a quarter of the chips. So that's all I want to pay for. Then she said they got to dessert, but they didn't like what they ordered. So they only wanted to pay for half of it and then asked for that to be split too. So they want to pay for half of the dessert and then they want the half of the half split. Then proceeded to get an attitude with her when she didn't understand the math problem. The video has over 1 million likes. So how do you handle this when eating out in groups, y'all? Do you feel that the bill should be equally divided or broken up according to what each person ordered, or does it depend? I'm gonna save my answer to last.
Listen, I don't like the bill split thing. I really don't. Like, so for me, I feel like, or no, not the bill split thing. I feel, well, because I'm kind of like down in the middle. Because if I'm not drinking and, you know, I'm out with a group of people and I'm not drinking and they done ordered up, you know, a bunch of strawberry daiquiris, Bahamas on the mamas, you know, sex on the beach, they doing shots or whatever it is that they do. If they don't order up a whole bunch of that and we all there together and so you bring the bill and you say, okay, well, if everybody in the group adds in $25, you know, we can, you know, come in. I'm sorry. I don't want to be paying for all that you drunk up.
Right.
When all I had was a damn ginger ale, you know, with my little fake lemon and my little fake cherry. And, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to be paying for your drinks. I love you and everything. And if you needed help with your portion of the bill or whatever, then say that.
Yes,
A,
please.
say that, and B, don't be
But say it ahead of time. Don't wait till the bill comes and talk about you can't, because we gonna be washing some dishes, okay?
No, not we. I'm serious. Listen, I love my sister.
Well, I'm not gonna do that to
I'm
nobody,
gonna
but
pick my company wisely.
Yes.
But for real, listen, if you that crazy one and you done ordered up 5, 6 drinks and, your steaks and this, that, and the third. I'm not paying for your red meat. I don't pay for my husband's red meat. If he eats red meat, I'm not doing it. And so my thought is, right, I know I'm feeling real extra with this one, right? My thought is, listen, I may very well be the one saying, if I ordered it, I don't care if you ate some of it. If I ordered the mozzarella sticks, I ordered the mozzarella sticks. I'm gonna pay for the mozzarella sticks. Even if I only ate one, if I ate 2, whatever.
Right.
I don't care whoever else. That's what I want to pay for. Because that's what I asked to be brought to the table. And so that's my thought on it.
Lisa, what you got?
Okay. I don't roll with a lot of people out when we go eat. My circle is small, protected, and private. So usually, like when I go out with my clients from the beginning, I'm like, okay, split the check, because mine is reimbursed by my company, and then theirs is theirs. When I go out, like with my cousins and stuff, we're all together. So, I don't mind. We're family, and it's probably like 6 of us, and we do our thing. I don't really go out with my friends. Everybody, if I'm out eating with you, we're family.
Right.
So we're like pretty much together. So your behavior is more or less like my behavior. It ain't going to be the 9 shots lined up or any of those type things. I have never experienced that, so I'm not going to really speak too much about it. Let's just say if I knew that you were this type of person, she's going to split that check before she even takes my order.
Yeah.
Straight up.
Yeah.
And that saves me.
So
and that saves our relationship. That saves
that part. So I understand, what you guys are saying. I'm kind of, and that's why, we threw in there, does it depend? I feel like it depends because, for instance, I went out recently with a group of ladies, and there were a few of them that ordered a drink, but it wound up to be that when they went to split the bill and they told us how much it would be per person, to me, I mean, it was like everybody ordered food and everybody ordered a drink of some sort. Their alcoholic beverage might have been like an extra $3 other than, my iced tea. But everybody agreed it was like $25 a person, and so we were cool with it. But on what you were saying, I completely understand, because alcohol is expensive. And I'm not going to go and have my little appetizer and my soda or my unsweetened iced tea and be paying no daggone $50 bill, because other people decided. But this story is hilarious because that level of pettiness, it's almost like it's unbelievable that somebody would, but then you do believe it because people do some strange things. Bro, you want to pay for 3 mozzarella sticks and a quarter? What is even a quarter of chips?
I'm right. Like, can you imagine just sitting there? I ate 4 chips. I only ate 4
chips. $2. So, and it's 4 of us. So, no, you're going to take my little bit of change. You're going to take my 50 cents. And that's what it's. That is hilarious.
And the other thing that really is just like so funny, because when you do stuff like that, people really and truly forget that there's taxes
and a tip.
There's taxes and a tip. So come on, y'all. We are all adults. We are adults. If you are out with your friends and y'all are, hanging out and you're eating together, or even your family, no matter what the situation is, come on, do your part, pay your share.
Don't go.
And we got some comments, y'all. Miss Victoria said, OMG, pay the bill and go home. If you can't afford to eat, don't go.
Right.
And Sister Harriet said, eat a bowl of soup or have a sandwich before you go out to eat and pay your part plus the tip, or just don't go out to dinner.
Yes. And Sunshine over on the YouTube side said, people should be mindful of their budget before coming outside. Girl, they know what they got in their pocket.
Absolutely.
They already know. I wholly agree. James Spencer said, walk out.
Somebody going to jail.
Sodas are less expensive than the drinks. You are right. They can treat you. He said walk out.
Walk out.
I'll be back.
Look.
Not even I'll be back. I got
Well,
to restroom. I gotta go
Spence,
restroom.
you gotta clarify though. Are you gonna leave your $12 for what you ate before you walked out, or you just walking out?
You just walking
altogether?
out like y'all.
Yes, please chime in. We need to know.
We need to know. We
these
need
things.
to know. Are you just, are you gonna dine and dash? Are you- Our producer, he just dined and dashed, y'all.
Yeah, here, cutting
He
up.
is straight up cutting up. Oh my gosh, y'all are a mess. Y'all are a mess. Let's see, we got any more comments over on the other side. Harry is saying, eat a bowl of soup or have a sandwich before you go out to eat and pay your part, plus the tip, or just don't go out to dinner. I think that this is a wonderful topic because, as we're in the holiday season, people get together, they go out, they party, they do this, that, and the third. And, and you usually go out in groups. You kind of like go out and you cluster in groups.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is just, just a reminder to everybody. Know what's in your pocket before you go. And we know you do. We know you know what you, know when you get paid. Huh? Check that account. Yes.
And if you can only afford some mozzarella sticks and water, please just only order that. Or get the okay, like we said. If we discuss this ahead of time and I say I got you, then I got you. But
listen,
please don't wait till the bill comes.
I got eat, you got me. Can you get me? I get you next time. You got me.
You gotta know that I got you.
That's right.
Right.
That's right. All right. Okay, moving on to our next one. This is another one, y'all. This is gonna be another one, y'all. Hold your pants. Ladies, tighten up your wigs. Here we go. We could miss our son's wedding over travel rules. This is a COVID topic. This is a COVID-19 topic. And you guys kind of know that if you've been watching the news, we are dealing with Omicron. Is it Omicron? Is that
Something
the
like
newest?
that.
That's the
variant.
newest variant that's out here. And so other, countries and, that they are beginning to tighten their travel restrictions. They are closing borders and this, that, and the third. And so every traveler entering the UK now needs to have a PCR test done within 48 hours of arrival and isolate until they get the results. 10 South African countries have been added to the red list, meaning arrivals have to pay for self-isolate in a pre-booked, government-approved hotel for 10 days. A couple who live in Spain were shocked and upset after hearing the changes were announced on Saturday. Their son is getting married on Thursday. They arrived on Tuesday and are worried that they won't get the results in time to be able to go. The wedding has been planned for 2 years, being planned for 2 years, and they say they understand why these things have to happen, but are not understanding why the rules have to change so quickly. So my question is, with these new variants popping up seemingly out of nowhere and spreading like wildfire, do you think that this approach is overly aggressive? Or is it better to err on the side of caution and do what has to be done to prevent further spread? All right, so what y'all think?
Who want to take that one?
I would say it's definitely erring on the side of precautions, because how did the virus get into this country? It came in on a plane.
It came in, and we can say it didn't walk, but technically it did walk.
Yes,
Right.
It right on up into
in.
our borders, and it started to spread. Hawaii has been implementing this since almost the beginning. Like, you cannot go to Hawaii until you self-quarantine for the 10 days and have the test to make sure you are good. So you might as well extend your trip by 10 days.
Yeah.
10 days. But it's just, is something that everybody needs to know that is in place.
Mhm.
And it should have been announced that, hey, we are heading in this direction and this is what it's going to be. So that
Yeah.
people who are making plans, this family could have booked their flight 2 weeks prior to make sure that they were covered. So it is a big inconvenience because they also have to pay for that hotel room for the quarantine, which is extra money coming out
Yeah.
of their pockets. American embassies around the countries could have told them when they went to apply for the visas into the countries and stuff like that. When you go to get, your tourist visa for the country, they could have said, "Hey, we're in this precaution."
Mhm.
Some of the African countries, they're not even processing tourist visas into the United States just because of the COVID situation. A lot of that has been, backburnered, where you can go there, but they can't come here.
Right.
So, yeah, that's how I feel.
I think I agree with that. I feel like it's really unfortunate, that this happened to this family. And I pray sincerely that they don't have to miss their son's wedding because, when we plan for things, we don't plan for something like that, like natural disaster type, pandemic type situations to happen. But I think people need to also keep in mind that just because things seem to be getting better, just like this whole lax and this comfortability with the not wearing masks, oh, I'm vaccinated, so I don't have to wear a mask, type situation. The same thing with that. We have to retrain our brains and recondition ourselves to understand that this is our new normal. And in the fall and the winter, things could take a turn for the worse and go back to, the way. So in my mind, if I'm planning, first of all, I'm probably not going to plan to travel in the fall and winter months, period.
Right.
But, if somebody is having an event that, I feel like I must attend, I'm automatically going to start thinking in my mind in the summertime, okay, what, things do I need to put in place so that I can make sure that I'll be able to still go.
Right.
It's just.
So my thought is, our kind of question, the couple getting married lived in Spain, right?
Yeah.
So I'm wondering, did they have knowledge of what was going on or what was to come and could have shared that information? Was it, and I know that, doing things like changing your wedding date and this, that, and the third, is not necessarily easily to do. But I do believe in this season of which we're in, vendors and venues are a little bit more compassionate, a little bit more understanding. Is it possible that they could have, made the adjustment on their end so that the people that were traveling in, would have that time of quarantine? And to be honest, I would want to quarantine.
Sure, I agree.
You know what I'm saying? Because you're traveling from, wherever you're coming from, and you are on a plane, and the close quarters, right? I'm sorry, I see people flying and everything right now. I can't do it.
Recycled air.
Right. And so, I would want to quarantine. And then, so I just kind of wonder if the couple could have, thrown up the red flags for their family or friends.
They may not have known what the traveling, being as though they were not traveling.
Yeah, it sounds
So
like they kind of got shocked.
Whatever country you're going to, you get the rules.
Right.
But I think just to be on the safe side, anyone who's traveling abroad needs to find out what the country they're going to regulations are, because this is our new normal, and we need to know what basically what your rights are, what to expect. We're not done with this yet.
And wasn't there a young lady, and I really pray that they adhere to the restrictions and follow the guidelines, because I do remember, I believe it was last year, there was a young lady who was going to her boyfriend's some kind of sporting event. And she was told, I think that both of them were told to quarantine, and they left quarantine before they were supposed to. wasn't there some charges filed against her? Wasn't she being held as something another? And so I do believe. Can you look that up? I do believe that was a story, something that was going on sometime last year. And so I think it is important. Let's see what the viewers have to say about this topic. So Sunshine says, do what has to be done to prevent future spreading. That is Omarion, laugh out loud, is already here in the U.S. Yes, it is. I did hear that it is already broke out borders. Yes.
It is not only in the U.S., but Governor Hogan announced today that the first 3 confirmed cases in Maryland today. And so I'm not reading Miss Victoria's comment because that's
you guys. She said stop spreading germs.
Oh my God. She said some more stuff, but it's rude, so I'm not saying that. Wayman Wallace said 10 days is good. They should stay away from everybody involved in the wedding. That should be common sense. Zoom the marriage ceremony. Better safe than sorry.
Yes.
All right, y'all. So we winding down on time a little bit, and we want to try to get these last 2 in. I don't know if we're gonna make it to the last one, but we're gonna make it to the last one because we like to end on a good note, and this one is a little heavy. So our next topic is Michigan high school shooting leaves 3 students dead. Now it has been updated to 4, unfortunately, and a 15-year-old suspect in custody now charged in that crime. A 15-year-old student at a Michigan high school was taken into custody on Tuesday after allegedly shooting and killing 3 students and injuring 8 others, including a teacher, according to the Oakland County Sheriff's Office. The deputies were able to apprehend the student within 5 minutes. They believe he acted alone and he was not answering questions at the time that we were doing our research, but we have some updates I'll give you in just a second. A search warrant was executed. The parents didn't want their son talking to authorities and have hired an attorney. So y'all, this was disturbing. As I was researching this topic, there was a video posted to Snapchat that one of the students had video recorded while they were locked inside of a classroom. And y'all, I don't know why I looked at that video. I thank God that there was nothing graphic on the video. But you know how sometimes when you watch things, you feel yourself in that moment and you just, it just really it just was a lot. So there was a knock at the classroom door. The kids were, hunkered down in the classroom, and there was a knock on the door. And so the person was telling them that it was the sheriff's office and telling them to open the door. So the teacher replied back and said he didn't feel that it was safe for them to do so. And then the person on the other side of the door replied, "Open up the door so I can show you my badge. Just open the door, bro." So the students immediately in the classroom started panicking, and they ran. They had a door in the back of the classroom. They flew out of the door because all you could hear was somebody say, "He said, bro. He said, bro. It's not the police." And they ran out, and it was crying and it was screaming, and thank goodness nobody got trampled. But just in that whole moment, my emotions were running high because I'm like, those poor babies. They had to be terrified. In that moment, and so. The question to that is when is enough enough? Is it time to put metal detectors in these schools? Or what else can be done to keep our children safe?
Well, they're already in Baltimore City middle and high school.
Okay.
And I'm quite sure a lot of major cities definitely have them in high school. And they've been there for years. So I don't see why they can't be in other schools. I mean, when we're training our kids to shoot at early age, hunting, all this stuff for the sport, they don't really have a value of life. It's just easily. They're not squeamish. The games that they play, what Need for Speed, you run somebody over and you keep going, or you punch somebody and you get in a car. And this is a part of the game. So these people don't have empathy for human beings whatsoever. And then, of course, the anger, when we're angry, we're not accountable for our actions. We're acting out of impulse. So I really think we need to start taking measures, hire more school police, have interests where they can come in and stuff like that, put the cameras on the doors because you can't really lock the doors, but some of the school doors are locked from the outside. And just, you know, if the door opens, alarm goes off. So just in case someone was letting their friends in through the back door. So I think we really need to take precautions because things are really getting out of hand and we need to start taking control over the situation. They're kids, they're impulsive, they don't think, they're just acting. And we as adults need to step up to the plate and help our children.
I really, and I agree with Wayman Wallace. He said homeschool training will become more commonplace or an option for parents. And I really think that we're coming in a society where, you know, especially after, you know, parents seeing how their children do during the pandemic, how they did during the pandemic, being at home, homeschooling. I really think that a lot of parents are going to begin to feel like my child is safer health-wise, safer, you know, for their emotional, you know, stability from bullying. And now from, you know, physical, it really is getting worse. And I don't know, enough is enough. It's already enough. And so, you know, what do we do? And I really believe, you know, you're going to see a lot of people starting to, you know, homeschooling is going to become a real, you're going to have these pop-up daycares or, you know, centers that are going to start offering so that, you know, like Amazing Grace, like Cedar's, you know, she's got it set up. You know, you can bring your if you are homeschooling, you can bring your tablet, you can bring your computer, you bring your homework, and she sits and she works with you and she does what is necessary, but it's on a smaller scale. And I know people did it for the protection against, you know, the pandemic. They're doing it for that, but then people are gonna start, you know, utilizing it, you know, because there's so much violence in the schools.
And I just want to say, you know, just to piggyback off of that, before I get to that, I just want to give a update to the story because either late yesterday or today, they did announce that they are now charging the parents with involuntary manslaughter. And when I read the article, apparently the father took the boy to the store to buy the weapon. It was a Christmas present for a 15-year-old child. And the mom was texting the boy back and forth that morning. And she literally, because you know, when the police come in and do they come in right away. They sweep the house. They take computers. They take phones. They take everything. The mom texted the young man 15 minutes before he did that and said, "Ethan, please don't do this."
So what you're telling me is
So
that she knew.
What I'm getting is that she knew that she either knew what he was going to do or she knew, you know, that he
knew something was wrong.
She knew something.
She knew something was wrong.
Could have been placed to prevent this.
Yeah.
And they said, one of the teachers said that they reported to the office. I don't know if this was that day or prior to. They reported to the office that on his school computer, he was searching up ammunition. So I'm like, all of these pieces of the puzzle, like, it's just crazy to me. And so I'm glad that the parents are being charged because I don't know if this will make somebody else think twice but the parents need to be more responsible in these cases. Yes, you might not know that your child is planning on executing something like this, but you know that you bought them a weapon or you know that you have weapons at home that are not secured or that the kids know where the key to the cabinet is. And on the note of the metal detector thing, you have so many people saying, "Oh, they shouldn't feel like animals. They shouldn't feel like criminals." Okay, well, my 9-year-old daughter is traumatized every time they have to have an active assailant. They call it training at school. She's traumatized, and she comes home and her stomach is in knots, and she feels sick and she's terrified. So I'm like, if we got to put a metal detector in order to keep them safe, then they got to walk through a metal detector. I don't care by any means necessary. Is how I feel.
I see the metal detector is the same precautions as you do for the house alarm that you have in your house or in your car. It's no different. It's, you know, it's for the protection and the safety.
Oh, wow.
Absolutely.
But I think definitely we can use some more school police. They need to be trained. We need to bring the guidance counselor back to the school. Some of these kids have mental health issues. I mean, I'm all for the home schooling to a certain extent, but some kids don't know social cues if they don't interact with other kids. And then that's a whole nother set of problems where we may end up with someone who can't connect, feel rejected, and then run off the page doing God knows what.
Absolutely.
I do want to say, I feel like, because I think it's important to and I pray that whoever the attorneys are that will argue this case, that they will take note of the fact of what he said. I'm with the sheriff's department. You know, he didn't just, come up with that off the top of his head. That's pre-calculated.
Absolutely.
He practiced that. Because he knew exactly what to say. Open up the door, I'll show you my badge. So he knew to say he had a badge. And you know what I'm saying? So he thought about what he was saying. He didn't just wake up that morning and decide, oh, this is what I'm going to do today. No, he worked out this plan to begin with. He thought it out. And so, yeah, and the parents, he didn't just wake up, with something going on in his head and just thought it. He was showing some signs of something. With something going on with your children. My babies is grown. The oldest being 36 and the youngest being 22. They grown. I can tell when I answer the phone. I can tell when there's something wrong by what they say in a text message. So you know your children.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so that's my thought on that. Do we have any comments? I know we're at the top of the hour, but I just want to make sure that we get everybody's stuff in there.
Miss Victoria just said, ban the stupid TikTok challenges. There are too many followers. And she said, I wish I could homeschool my grandkids. I would have to go back to school myself and have a degree. No, I don't think you have to homeschool you. They give you the curriculum. Yeah. So if you're volunteering, I'm saying.
I got 3 over here.
Listen, we can round them up for you.
Right, Sam got 2. Mishan said, unfortunately, you will have the parents that say no metal detections because they don't want their kids feeling like prisoners and instead them looking at their safety. Yes. And Wayman Wallace said, yes, premeditated. I agree, brother. That was definitely premeditated. And Sunshine over on YouTube said, so she knew her child needed help and didn't help. Yeah, she knew her child. And so she set him up for failure. Yes. She allowed him to walk into that situation because obviously she knew something was going on.
But even before that, the father buying a 15-year-old gun for a Christmas present, like what?
He might be kind of late because they usually get it like 9.
I don't know, but the father gave him a license to kill. Y'all knew something was going on with that boy before he got that gun.
And Michonne and I actually had a conversation earlier about it too, and he was saying that they should get a harsher punishment than involuntary manslaughter. Yeah. He said just like the young man that ran over Officer Caprio some years ago, his 2 friends that were with him got the same charges that he got. Charged these parents with more. It wasn't involuntary manslaughter, it was murder. Yeah. So let's call it what it is.
And if you start making an example, they do it to us. You know what I'm saying? If you start making an example, some of this foolishness is going to come to a stop.
And for all the judges who don't believe that swift penalties should be happening for these gun charge violence, especially in the schools, we need to vote them out.
Vote them out.
We have the power to do so.
We have the power.
Right. Get their name, get the case information, put it out there. That's what social media is for. Yes. And then come election time, he needs to go, she needs to go.
And we're not going to forget.
Oh, no.
So we need to start changing. We need to start changing. This is our power.
You got the
power. We should use it.
Yes. All right, y'all, let's get to this last one. We want to go out on a more of a happy note. More of a happy note. We don't have very long. Should I get it? Because it is like 1 minute.
You get it.
Okay, get it. So kindergarten teacher creates Care Day, Self-Care Day for students, and their reaction is everything. This week, kindergarten teacher Azell Prather Jr. launched his holiday Hook Up Daycare for 40 kindergarten students at his school in Washington, D.C. He tapped into his network to identify hairstylists, barbers, nail technicians, and other volunteers to assist him in pampering his students for the day. He said that students have to know someone who looks like them, talks like them, and cares about them inside and out of the classroom. He shared that the parents were extremely grateful. Some of them don't have the resources, while others may not have the time. He and his team performed makeovers and had a visible impact on the students. I wish I could have seen that. I know that it was amazing. As a 4-year kindergarten teacher and the executive director of the Prather Foundation, his mission is to provide young people from underserved communities with the resources they need to become successful teachers. This truly is an awesome story. So what do you think? What he did for the children, and do you think that there should be more of these things occurring in the school settings?
I think so. I think
love
it
it.
was so
I
awesome.
love it.
And I say anybody who's a photographer, join in on this. Let these kids get some photo shoots so that they can remember this moment for the rest of their lives.
Yeah,
I think it is so awesome, y'all. And if you have to look it up, because they had posted a couple pictures of like the little girls with their braids, and the guys with the little, I mean, these are kindergartners. So can you imagine how important and special and grown up they felt to be able to be pampered, like, in the school building? Like, it's really amazing. And we do need to do more of that, those types of things. These are the types of things that we want to hear about.
Yes.
So big ups to what was his name? Mr. Azell Prather Jr. Absolutely.
Yes. And so that's how we're going to close out the show. So please, I know that we are at the top of the hour, but we want to hear your comments on this topic. We want to hear your thoughts. So just go ahead and type them in, and we will talk about it when we are behind camera, and we'll share with you guys with some of your other viewers that's thinking about that. And so that is our show tonight. This was some good stuff. We're going to come on back next week. We got an exciting guest that's going to be with us. And, we got a whole lot of stuff going on this month, month of December, for the Christmas holiday season. And so we know that tonight's show was a little bit, hot topics. It get a little juicy. And we talk about, a lot of current events and things that are going on. But we're going to come back and we're going to chat with y'all later on in the month about some happier stuff and some more exciting stuff. We want to see your Christmas pictures, your holidays pictures, and remember that Jesus is the reason for the season. And so we are just excited that you stopped by and joined in tonight with Victory Talk with my girl Key and my sister Lisa. And so we are looking forward to seeing y'all next week. Same place, same time. Victory Talk. We love you.
Love y'all. Good night.
Good night.